Welcome back for another episode of the Dope Stroke Podcast Show. We have got everything to talk about this week related to the US Open. We've obviously naturally got the Trotmeister General on. We've got Bubs, who's calling from his car. He's been at the Kingdom today, the TaylorMade Kingdom out just outside of London. So I'm pretty sure he'll give us a little brief on that. And Trotty, as always, has had an eventful evening, stroke weekend. He might not go into detail, might be a bit X-rated, but we'll see if he's willing to stretch the boat and tell us exactly what's happened in the last 24 hours. But let's start with the Kingdom first. How was the Kingdom today, Bubs?
Well, it was good, mate.
Brilliant.
It was seriously hot down there. It was like UK is 30 degrees today. So we had three competition winners down for a Kingdom experience, bit of a lesson. The Kingdom was actually closed on Monday. Don't open Sunday, Monday. So they opened it specially for these winners. They got them down. We gave them a bit of a tour. We did a show around. We gave them a bit of coaching. And they were sweating buckets on that tee, hitting balls because it was roasting. But good day, mate.
Yeah, I guess for our US listeners, it's going to be a smoker of a week over here, isn't it? 38 degrees Celsius. So what's that in Fahrenheit? That's got to be 90-ish. Trotty, you should know that, shouldn't you? You're a local in America now.
No idea. Like, I mean, is there really a freaking Kingdom? Why didn't they name it something different? I think there's only one mystique of the Kingdom, and then they've put this place at the Grove. I think they should have named it something different. Don't like the name. I think it's a cop out.
I think it's Kingdom good. 2. I think they've done it. Kingdom at the Grove is not like they're not trying to say it's as good as the one in San Diego, but they're just saying it's Kingdom at the Grove. It's like it's our little version of it. So you can have your Kingdom. We're everyone as well.
I'm not going into it, but Daryl and I have a placeholder name, which is why I'm not going into it, of a thing that I created ages ago. Remember that logo?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, freaking class. That's the name. That's the name they should have done, and they didn't do it. So I'm doing it. Gonna do it anyway. I'm gonna do it anyway.
I'm not leaving.
We know you've got your American passport now. It's such an American thing, isn't it? To go, we're having a Kingdom, you're not having one. It's such an American.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm sorry. Like the Kingdom at the Grove is not the Kingdom.
It should be like a social club, the Con Club.
Yeah, we just come up with something a bit different. No disrespect to it, but it's just not the Kingdom. It's like, I don't know.
But the Kingdom's a brand, though, isn't it? Like you're building a brand around the Kingdom. Who's to say that they don't do a Kingdom in Tokyo or something? So you could argue that does make a lot of sense, as a Kingdom is the owned brand by TaylorMade.
Yeah, I didn't think of that.
Some
I like
multi-billionaire gets on the phone tomorrow and goes, Trotty, Trot Shop is amazing. We want to open one in the UK, Dubai. Are you going to go, nah, can't have it. Only can have one.
No, I like what you're saying. I don't know what. I basically, just let me correct you there. I'm going to open more. Let's just start with that, right? I've already decided I'm over the initial hump of. What? No, I might come up with a different name, you bellend. I might come up with some sort of spin on the
Chris
name.
Shop. Chris Shop. Trot Shop and Chris Shop.
But no, I've just told you I've seen what you're talking about now, so stop being a knobhead. I've seen what you're talking about, but I might come up with a different name.
You've had a good night last night, haven't you, Trotty? I can tell you're a bit off piste this morning.
I did. I had a good time. But, I mean, I don't know. I'm just... It's what the locals do, Daryl.
Well, you are where you are. Your hat is where your home is and all that. All those key, cliche phrases. So it makes perfect sense. California's California.
I had to think about the hat I wore for this one in case the topics of my last evening came up. So I was like, well, I'll put this one on because I got no real connection with Bo's brand other than the fact that I love him. And he's Californian, so he won't care what I say. So I was like,
well, I need to give us the brief on the hat because obviously this is an audio show.
I've worn this hat before. This is Bo Rister's coffee company. So I like coffee. I like Bo. So I was like, they go hand in hand. I quite like the logo. So this is just Bo Hostler's coffee company. So he sent me a hat, which was nice, and some coffee beans. So always appreciated when you get a little care package from Mr. Hostler. So yeah, I think at some point I keep saying to him, we'll pull the Bo Hostler coffee truck into the Trot Shop, which will be the HQ, the Trot Shop HQ. We're not going to pull it into the Trot Shop Dubai. You know what I mean? We might have one, but I'd call that like the Arabian Outpost. That's what I would do. I'd be like the Trot Shop Arabian Outpost.
Yeah,
Just
but you're
like
more
I've got-
likely to go Arabian Outpost by Trot Shop, wouldn't you? Because you've got to make sure that that common link is there.
That's more likely.
It's 101
But
stuff.
yeah. But that's why I got you in the mixer. So if you'd have done this, you're telling me the branding's okay, but you would have gone like the Kingdom UK or UK, whereas he's already just called it the Kingdom. So now we're lost between the Atlantic. I don't know where I'm getting fit in the Azores at this point. I don't know where I'm going.
Get a suntan while you're there.
Well, no, it sounds like you get a suntan in the UK. Poor lad's
This
30
week you
degrees,
can.
which
I
I
mean,
don't
it
think
is-
that's...
It's intense.
But that's not
it's
90, is it?
No, I think it's close. The humidity is about 90% as well. So the combo of that, it is smoking. It's not quite like that first event I did with you in Malaysia, Trot Mice, in Johor, which is the hottest I've ever been in my whole entire life. But it's up there. It is a smoker. It's great though. I love it. But the weird thing is though, I grew up in South Africa, so for me, it feels really Christmassy. I want to get the Christmas tree out because Christmas time in South Africa, that's when you get it's the middle of summer. It's like this. So I think we should, get jingle bells on the go and let's start doing some proper stuff around this time of year. I think it sounds great. Trotty's just going, what the fuck are you on about?
Pair of bell ends I'm on here with this morning. Right. Jesus.
Anyway, let's pivot. Let's move on, shall we, from the festive spirit of the temperature of the UK right now. And
You don't get this on No Laying Up, do you?
That's it. That's why you got to come and check out the Dope Stroke show.
See, I thought this dope stroke thing was like heading down. I don't know. I'm like, is it heading down a good path? Is it not heading down a good path? But I did notice, just to recap other stuff other than like recent. We're going to get to US Open, of course.
Yeah.
But I did notice that.
We've lost Bubs.
Well, I mean, to be fair, Tim put operation in his car. Let's cover that to start. I mean, what sort of effort is that? I mean, I'm grinding out here, but in the car, gone. I'm almost chucked him off myself. So just
I
you and me
reckon we
will
just
take
eject
it.
him. Yeah, we'll take the
We'll
lead.
just take
from
it
here.
home.
Yeah.
We'll take it home from it. Plus, he's gone to a con artist of a kingdom. He's not gone to the real one.
That's not even the real thing.
And then
It's
he
some
comes
sort of
on,
Chinese knockoff.
yeah, and then he comes on here telling me he's been the kingdom. I'm like, well, you've been to a franchise McDonald's. You haven't been to McDonald's, have you?
He's gone to Burger King. That's where he's gone.
He's gone Burger King. Then he's trying to tell me it's the kingdom. I'm like, there's only one trot shop, mate. Now look, there might be an Arabian outpost, but you will know if we talk about this that we're talking about the Arabian outpost by the trot shop, right?
By the trot shop.
I've lost my point now. Don't know what I was off on one, and then don't know. It was going back to earlier points in the week, but it's gone, McD. It's gone.
You were about to go off on something, and even I can't quite recall what it was. I'm assuming it's got nothing to do with the last 24 hours, but as a quick update for all the listeners, because I know that the trot shop is flying right now. What's happening?
Man.
What's the latest? What's going on?
I was going to talk about the trot shop. Yeah, what's happening? It's flying, mate. It's going really well. So literally finished up. I took Friday off, played golf like an absolute axe murderer. Hit it everywhere. It was like the old days. I doubled 8 to go to 2 over par or 3 over par. So at that point, I hit a green and I was like, I had a birdie. I was like, this is like going back in time to how crap I used to be at golf and how I used to play this way. And I was thinking about my short game, real good on the front nine. Got on the back, spun it round there and 3 under. Now look, it's an easy finish, but got some cash back, so didn't lose anything. That was great. And then I made that post, didn't I, in the week, talking about +2 golfers and practiced twice. It took a bit of heat for that, a lot of comments.
Did you?
I noticed when we freaking break up these reels that I'm the one who takes the heat. I'm the one who brings the...
Oh, yeah, well, you're the controversial one, so we just let you float on that boat.
tossers just talk about like weather and shit, and then all of a sudden I get into it. And then it's like, all of a sudden that nails it on the thing. And I'm looking at this thing thinking, dope stroke, no one listens to this. But that was the point I was going to make. Guy turns up who's become a friend of the trot shop. And that's the original trot shop, not the Arabian outpost to be. And he turns up the other day because the trot shop is his tour truck home from home now. That's what we coined that frame. Come and use the trot shop's your tour truck home from home. Come here anytime you want. So Bobby Chavez, he's a friend now of the trot shop. The HQ, the original one. Really like the bloke. Arsenal fan, good lad, got some good banter on him. Comes down the other day because we wanted to try like a lesson and a fitting. Because you know how that used to happen on tour and the boys would be in there, the coaches, and they'd talk some freaking mystical bollocks, and then you'd fix the driver a bit and get it going. So he comes and I'm like, right, we'll see if we do the same with Bobby. He's got a good personality, good lad. And I decided for the first time, which was a bit like letting go of the hands on the wheel, I did the intro and then wasn't in the video. I went and got on and counted in, hello, here he comes, Scarlet Pimpernel's back. I went and got onto the truck and started counting in some other products that we've got. So we've had a bunch of product turn up. Trot Shop's fully loaded now. Again, the original one, not the Arabian Outpost. And I went, looked at this lesson going on, lesson Bobby Chavez and fitting, and it was mega. And again, this is the after facts of last night. I don't know where I was going with that story, but Bobby Chavez said to me he'd be listening to the podcast, McD, and he was like, I had to get rid of my set of pings. And I was like, what do you mean? He said, because you said that either who can't swing, play ping. So I had to get rid of them. And I felt really bad because I like pings. As you know, I like ping equipment. And that actually isn't my phrase, right? But it's just out there. And it's how that impacts people. So, you know, you got to be careful when you're branding someone, bring it full circle. Like, is it the Kingdom? Because there's me going to freaking California and he's going elsewhere. And he's like Kingdom New Delhi and I'm Kingdom Carlsbad. And I'm like, you've done me. So Bobby Chavez, taken that statement, and I've upset him. I've obviously sent him down the freaking lane now. He's had to get some new sticks or get a set of Risha. Turns up with a set of Muras, as pure as they can be. I'm like, well, they're good, Bob. They look great, mate.
Too good for the likes of you, though, Bob. He should have gone back to the pings.
No. He's a nice fella. Hits it nice. Gets a little steep on it, but he's a good lad. He's a good lad.
Well, I'm glad Trot Shop's going well.
Mate,
to be honest,
good.
It's always going to do well. The location where Levaye is, I mean, everything about it's just bang on.
What I was going to say, though, like the stress and the strains of the whole thing and getting, obviously, there's been a lot of sleepless nights. And then you wake up this morning, text you immediately. So I was like, am I working? No, I'm on the podcast with the boys. So I was like, what time? What are we doing? Let's get this organised. Because at the moment, it's only my reels that are saving it. So I was like, let's get this freaking thing organised. So get on here. And I was looking at the next 2 weeks. And like, I think I went to bed last night with maybe one gap. Woke up this morning, that's gone. So I texted 2 Chainz last night and I was just like, dude, we're next 2 weeks pumping. So we're almost at a stage. I'm not going to do it because I'm sure you could find a little wedge fitting in there or something where I could turn around and say, full next 2 weeks. Can't get in. And then I could send another one that says, news coming, new location. We'd put like a camel in there. And then I'd be like, the Arabian Outpost is on its way. The mystical Arabian Outpost.
We can get you dressed in the outfit, so you'll be like Lawrence of Arabia.
Yeah. like I did at my stag do those years ago.
Yeah. But and then imagine a little security guy running around a field chasing you around because you pushed him into a bush. But don't worry about his back that you nearly broke because you know him.
We got to tell that story, McD. That's a good story. You want to tell it? I was like,
nah, you'll tell it better than me.
So we went on this. Bubsy's back now. Bubsy's back. He's still in the UK with no signal and this 50-degree heat that he's panicking about because he's not.
Well, I just obviously.
Anyway,
I obviously lost signal, didn't I? Lost signal, and I was that Trotty was talking about the Trot Shop, New Delhi. So I've lost signal. You know, I pay whatever I pay in phone bills, and I can't even get signal about 20 minutes outside of London. So I fumbled around. I thought about moving my car, trying to get my signal back. Gone for 10 minutes. I was thinking I'm going to have to jump in mid-conversation. I'm on it. 10 minutes later, I reconnect. Still talking about Trot Shop New Delhi, aren't we? Haven't even moved on.
Well, you know what Trotty's like. It's a 47% show.
So listen. So last night, right, we got these people over from the UK. So I start, obviously, like, I've cranked out. You boys got me on the whole, like, panicking about the post-COVID booze session where I was basically just drinking beers all the time. So I quit drinking for 6 months, right? Thanks to you two pair of idiots. You influenced me out of that. So I'm like, right, anyway.
Easily led.
In this 6-month journey, I had a journalist friend over who will remain nameless, a little bit older than me. And the first thing he says to me is, obviously, weed and that's legal in California. He says, take me to a dispensary, will you? So fire him up to a dispensary, and he's experienced in that game and seems to be having a cracking time. Good for him, happy days. So when we were in there, I bought a little tin of like edibles, job done. Nothing of it. 6 months go by, do the odd one, nothing of it. Anyway, last night, find these things. I'm going to slam one of these. Perfect. All good, no problem. But you're in a room with people that you don't really know. So then and then all of a sudden it gets onto pretty much my life story. And I reckon I was talking more than I talk on this podcast. But because you've obviously slightly out the room, you don't know what freaking day it is, do you? So I'm going on and on and on. And in the end, I got the giggles and just told the lad half through the story, yeah, I'm out now. I'm going to bed.
So hang on, you got friends over from the UK. You spoke about yourself all night, and then you went to bed when the topic...
Halfway through. Yeah.
Oh, hang on, the conversation's not about me. Oh, sorry, lads, I'm off to bed now.
Done. Mate, I mean... It's just the truth comes out when you're in that situation. But I do want to say that I'm in this situation because of you two, because otherwise I'd have just been quite fine sipping a few beers in the corner.
I love the way that's our fault. That's brilliant.
Anyway, I was going to tell you another story.
Yeah.
So anyway, this is a golf podcast, so bear with us, everyone. So years ago...
We did play golf on that trip, though, to be fair, so you can tie it in a bit. Spey Valley. We played there, didn't we?
Do we really? I just remember it being hard work. We went on my stag do, and we're all a lot younger, so no one really had any cash. And we ended up doing like this whiskey tasting tour. You had to kayak between the whiskey spots, and no one really liked whiskey, so I don't know why we did that. Anyway, I'd spent a lot of time in the Middle East, which is where obviously we're working on the trot shop outpost, and basically, they boys who thought it'd be funny because I'd spent so much time there, dressed me up in like a dish dash, you know, the Arabian like gentry sort of outfit or whatever. And then they decided to be, we were young dickheads, security guards. Anyway, we're walking down the street, those boys all in their security outfits and me cruising down in the old dish dash. And I see this bush, but I didn't realise it was over like a 12, 15-foot drop wall.
At least.
I think you've heard this story, Bubsy. So McDee's walking between me and the sidewalk and the bush and the hedge. So I basically think, it's too good an opportunity, this. So we're all just meandering along, cruising along, and I see the gap, and I went for it, and I full on pushed him. He trips on the curb, staggers up the sidewalk, hits the wall, legs over the top of his head, boom, bottom of the bush. Mate, it was hilarious.
The push made my body basically go horizontal over the edge and then down into the bush.
But, you know, you're fairly young at the time, and it was just like, I mean, everyone was like, this is hilarious. This is everyone gone. So we're like laughing, but the bush isn't moving. Everyone was laughing, mate. But the bush isn't moving. It's not moving. So then everyone's like, it's funny to be fair, but he hasn't moved now for about 38 seconds. This could be a problem. So someone's like, McD. And then someone else is like, be quiet, everyone, be quiet. Because we were shouting down. He's dropped 15, 20 feet. So everyone's like, McD. Like, well, all right. One lad jumps over, drops in the bush, try and get him out. And like, there's not a noise. And it was Flay, one of our other mates. And he's like, looking at us, going, could be a problem. Next thing, Flay turns around and his face is just smiling and laughing. And then obviously everyone starts erupting and he gets up. Dazzler was fine. So I've obviously in this said, he's fine, everyone. I know him, he's fine. So McD gets up, and with that, and it was just as flip phones. So you had these crappy little cameras that are about as good as your camera right now. Eventually we get McD out, pull him out of the wall, and he stands up and he's just like, you better start running. So I take off, right, round down the hedge, past the wall, into this field. And bear in mind, I'm wearing this goddamn Dubai outfit. He starts chasing me in this security guard outfit. Someone has it on a flip phone. Just these two people running around these bushes and in this field. It was hilarious. Very funny.
Like the Batman and Robin.
Just imagine,
Yeah,
it's like that, but like to the theme tune of Benny Hill music, just chasing him around this field. And I tell you what, I was black and blue for days and days. So thanks, Trey. I haven't been able to walk properly since.
But look, I mean, some more serious news is rather than my antics and the Outpost. I mean, it's big news. We announced the Outpost this week, which is great. But rather than any of that is US Open. I mean, I'll be honest, I'm going to kick this off. It's Father's Day yesterday. Happy Father's Day, boys.
Happy Father's Day to everybody.
It's the one major I wouldn't say religiously, but I'm very uninterested in watching it. I made a bit of a case. I don't know if I've told you boys on the podcast before. I made a case when Dustin Johnson won that I was never going to waste another Father's Day watching the US Open. And the reason being is because when I watched that US Open with Dustin and Shane going at it, I got to, as everyone did, about 2 or 3 hours to go, and I had no idea who was going to win because they'd done that ruling with Dustin in the drop, and they didn't give you an answer until after it. And I really felt like they didn't want Dustin to win, and it really got me a bit. I was like, it's bollocks to try to fix this. Like, make a ruling so we as viewers know who's going to win this tournament. You can't. Oh, well, we'll come up with it. Like, how hard's that for Dustin? You're now playing, not knowing if you're in contention, leading, one behind. I just thought it was disgusting. So since then, I've never really. I watched JJ Spawn because I love Oakmont. I like Shinnecock as well, but I didn't watch much of it at all. I've been busy with the original Trot Shot, not the Outpost, the original one. So I was just like, not.
Well, I got to say, I watched quite a lot of the golf, to be fair, and just even watching it on TV. And watching the shots that they're playing and just looking at the overall golf course, I mean, I'm not sure if I'd actually want to play that golf course. I actually felt physically scared just watching those shots and thinking, I don't think I could hold a green. The amount of times they would hit a great shot or appear to hit a great shot, maybe it's a slightly firmish bounce and the ball just kept on running through, dropped off into a bunker. I honestly think I would still be out there today if I started this round of golf on Thursday. It just looked really, really hard. And I don't know if you spotted this, but the PGA Tour and I think definitely the European Tour put out a social post asking the players what would an 18 handicap shoot around that course. And a number of the players said they don't think, well, Padraig Harrington said, I don't think they'd finish the golf. They wouldn't be able to complete a hole. But most guys said 200 is what an 18 handicapper would shoot around Shinnecock Hills. And it looked like that just watching it on TV. I mean, I actually felt physically scared.
I didn't watch much of it. And I'm like you, Chossie. I watched a little bit of last year. I don't know why I didn't get into this. I don't know whether it's because the World Cup is on and that's taking a lot of my attention. That's on the news. That's on my social feeds. But I didn't get that excited about watching it. And then when I did watch it, I don't know, the course didn't look great. But I slightly disagree with you, Darryl. I didn't watch that much, but I don't think the course looked that hard. Like, the fairways looked really wide, and there was a couple of tee shots where Beamer on course was going like, it's really hard to miss this fairway. So you're taking out an element there. And then, I mean, look at it. He finished at 4 under, right? But I don't think it was that difficult, because if you rock up there in 3 weeks' time and you play with your buddies, it's a par 72 course, right? They just play it as a par 70. If it was a 72, that's 8 shots easier. He's 12 under par. Now, the Masters gets won at 12 under par, and we don't look at that course and go, that's ridiculously hard. They just dropped 2 shots off the par, so it looks like he was 4 under. But if they'd kept it at 72, he's 12 under. I saw them hitting wedges into the greens that were spinning. I mean, like, it was tricky in places, but I didn't really see them struggling. It was easy off the tee. The fairway bunkers were fairly easy to get out of. The greens were a bit bumpy, not that fast, but I didn't look at it and think it's brutal.
I thought it was brutal. But it's not the tee shots, because the fairways were wide, the fairways were generous, they were long drives, but guys were struggling to make par from a distance to the pin between 90 to 120 yards. Guys are struggling to make par.
So the bits I did see, like, there was a lot of missed putts. Scotty Scheffler was missing a lot. I think one of you boys texted me about Burns missed a key one, but they're Poano, aren't they? And that's the problem, which is a bit like San Diego with the greens. So you get them quick and bumpy and a little unpredictable. Again, going back to this, and just for a minute here, bringing it back to like wedge fitting and the Trot Shot, I didn't think that any of this stuff with wedges and bounce and like the front ski, I've had to go on this whole tour journey to become somewhat knowledgeable about wedges, and then I've had to go down a teaching journey to understand the absolute different techniques in order to be able to fit wedges better. And I think we get into a situation in a tournament like this, and I realise like Poana grass plays a massive role in putter setup and a massive role in your wedge setup. And I saw that Wyndham has been the best putter on tour since we got past the Masters. Was it that the one? Yeah. And you notice he's using a counterbalance putter. And he's got all those drills for start line, but it's telling. And then especially when you get on Poana, just how pure you have to be with your striking of a putter in order to win out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I just felt like they were really struggling to get the strike on the ball, probably because of what you just said there about the grass. So they were really struggling to get the right level of spin when the ball would land on the green. It was difficult. I think it was difficult. I don't think the tee shots were overly challenging, but I definitely think they struggled on the approach. Putting was difficult. And the challenge you have is that I can't remember which hole it was now. I want to say it was 15, but I feel like it might have been earlier in the round, where Wyndham Clark, he hit a shot pretty much the heart of the green. It rolled up very, very slowly near a ridge, which is probably about a third of the way from the right-hand side of the green. So it's well into the green. As soon as it took that ridge, which was going very slowly, it rolled off into the bunker. And the same thing then happened to Scheffler on the same hole. So I felt like it was almost like a green within a green. So you could see that the green was however big it was, but actually your landing area on that green was really, really small. And you had to control it with the right level of spin. And sometimes you got it and sometimes you didn't. So I think it was all about the short game. So I'm not surprised to see, Wyndham Clark with the best putting statistics actually go on to contend or win in this particular occasion, the event, because you had to hold putts. By luck or whatever, you had to hold them. And he was the guy that held the most putts. But I do think, when you look at Sam Burns, personally, I was rooting for Sam Burns. I thought he played an amazing final round. I mean, he put himself into some fantastic positions. But some of the putts that he just missed on the closing holes, those are the kind of putts that Wyndham Clark was holding. And that was the real difference between the two on the Sunday. But I did feel for Sam Burns. Obviously, after last year's shenanigans, this year I was really pulling for him to go ahead and win the tournament. But regardless of that, Wyndham Clark led from start to finish, and he was a deserved winner, despite what the New York fans were banging on about. But other than that, I thought it was I enjoyed it. I did enjoy watching it.
I saw a thing with Rory where he's turned and given some slightly overweight chap a bit of abuse. So I take it that the whole way through, everyone was just getting abused.
Well, it was very evident when you're watching I would say the entire back nine. There was not one fan really that sounded like they were supporting Wyndham Clark. Everyone was rooting for Scheffler. Those two were obviously in the final group. And it was so noticeable that even the commentators had to talk about it. So you could hear, Wyndham Clark would hold a massive long putt or he hit an amazing shot and it would just be silence. It was like you're watching the Madeira Islands Open all over again. And then Scheffler would hit an average shot to an average location and the crowd would erupt. So there was definitely a noticeable pull for the guys following Scheffler, or such as Scheffler. But Clark did get a few bits of abuse where some guys were basically saying, don't choke Wyndham, stuff like that. And things were said to some of the Europeans as well. So fan behavior was definitely very questionable. And one of the guys did get booted off the golf course on the Sunday as well for making a couple of comments. But yeah, it seems to be a New York thing, to be honest with you. They don't fear giving some players abuse on the golf course. It's twice now, Ryder Cup and here. It's a bit of a sad state of affairs, but Wyndham Clark did acknowledge this in his winner's speech because he did acknowledge the fans weren't behind him. He put it down to last year's incident of him destroying the locker room, which he again apologized for. But I don't know, just seems to be New York just love abuse.
I think I'm going to probably jump out here, boys. I think my audio is pretty awful by what's going on in the chat. So rather than spoil it for the listeners, I'll leave you boys to it. But I think, look, for me, I don't dislike Wyndham Clark. There's nothing. I've never met the guy. I'm just judging him from a distance. I don't dislike him. But obviously, what happened last year was front in my mind. And I think when you look at the leaderboard and you got people like Scheffler and you got people like Tommy, I would just have preferred one of them to win. And I think that's probably what the crowd were thinking of. They obviously remembered last year, massive disrespect. You know, people respect this game. They like the history of the game. They like where it's come from, these iconic venues. And to do what he did last year didn't sit right. And people remember that kind of thing. You know, you say to me Sergio now, and I think about what he did at the Masters. When that's front and centre, and there's people who are good guys like Tommy Fleetwood on the leaderboard, you'd just rather Tommy win. You know, and I think that's where it is. I don't know Wyndham Clark. If I went out for a meal with Wyndham Clark and Tommy Fleetwood, I might think Wyndham's a great guy and Tommy's a knob. But from judging it from a distance, you only know what you can see. What he did last year, not acceptable. So when he comes to him being in contention this year, he's going to get stick. And at least he took it. At least he kind of said, "Look, you know, I've got to take it and I've got to push on." So that's my thoughts. But I'm gonna dive out, boys. Let you finish. I think this audio is pretty awful.
All right, no worries, Bubs. We'll catch you in next week's episode. See you later, mate.
Cheers.
Yeah,
boys.
on the Wyndham Clark, I did manage to walk 9 holes of golf with him. It was actually the US Open that he won. So one of the other guys that I work with, Adrian Ategi, was out playing a practice round, and we ended up I ended up walking with Adrian and got chatting to Wyndham Clark. And I have to be honest, polite, well-mannered, nice, showed an interest. He just seemed like a nice guy to me. And then obviously he went on to win the tournament. And I get people have big feelings sometimes.
He's got to have some game, McD. I think his bird's an 11, isn't she? I mean, absolute rocket.
Is she?
Yeah, he's got some Instagram.
Yeah,
girl.
but is she taller than him? Because that's the benchmark. We all know that.
Well, he's a pretty tall guy, though, mate. I mean,
in that case, he's underachieved then. Coming because if it was me or you, I'm sure we would have gamed that and we would have dominated. So I'm not having it that she's an 11 out of 10 because
she's a rocket, absolute rocket.
Is she?
Yeah. Yeah, but again, and you got the height scale doesn't work there because he's got to be 6'3" himself. Yeah, but the point is, I mean, I think that your man Bubsy there's made a point, and it's what we don't know and who we don't know. But I mean, he's a good player. He can withstand the pressure. He hits one shot shape. If you look at golf again, and I hit on it last week, so I don't need to hit on it again. But the strategy that it takes to play golf, I hugely think if you have one shot shape, it makes you so much stronger as a golfer. And if folks are looking at it going, I hit a big slice, it's still one shot shape. It ain't going left. So you can make that play. And then I just think there's a bit of a lack of an understanding, isn't there? I mean, there's so many levels to this game, and every throwaway comment that you make and gets caught in a podcast, levels. And these guys are like, we're not bad players on here, but they're 10 levels above us. Okay. And I think that you look at Wyndham Clark and the win, and I think that you got to respect that. I think it's hard. You look at the leaderboard and, there's not many personalities up there. There wasn't many. If you look at a leaderboard from 20 years ago, felt like there was a lot of personalities. Now it's not so clear cut, which makes it a tough view, I guess. Obviously, we're getting a little older, so that changes your viewpoint of what is a personality and what isn't. But really happy for him. I thought I was stoked. Winning 2 majors and hard ones. And I don't think the New York crowd should be giving him a hard deal. I think that's what we've got to expect now.
But I've got a question for you, something that I was thinking about while watching the golf last night. And I think to become an elite level golfer, let's call it a journeyman golfer on the PGA Tour, you're obviously a very good golfer. So I think we can all agree you're a journeyman. Yeah, exactly. You're a very, very good, exceptional golfer to just be there first as a first layer. To then go on to win a major, I think you're still an exceptional player. But to win 2 majors or more, let's just call it 2 majors for now, I think that makes you a great. If you get to big numbers, and I would say big numbers is certainly 4 or 5 and beyond, that makes you an icon, I would say, of your sport, of your generation. I mean, where do you sit on that scale? Because I just think there's been so many major winners over the years that have only won 1 major, maybe not won many other events. They just happened to be informed the right week, the conditions, everything happened for them the right week. So to do it twice, I think that is... It's like having a business that turns over $1 million and then you do another one that turns over $1 million. You've proved the first one wasn't luck because you did it again.
But there are anomalies to that. And the two that immediate, because I get what you're saying, and I had some friends on tour, good mates who worked out there. One was an old boss, and the other one was Sean Mullin, buddy of mine. I would eat dinner with Sean every Tuesday. These guys got close to Harrington, and basically Harrington would make the exact point you've made, that winning 2 majors is actually the benchmark of excellence, because winning 1, it's golf, you can do it, but winning 2 is, obviously he's won multiple.
3.
So yeah. So he can put himself in that bracket. You said icon. Now, if I back up a little bit.
Of your generation, though. Icon of your generation.
Fred Couples and Ian Woosnam are icons. 1 major.
Yeah.
Langer has won a couple, I think. He won the Open, didn't he?
Yeah,
as well as the Masters. So,
Langer only won the Masters, didn't he? He won 2 Masters.
Okay. So if he won 2 Masters, that's icon then.
Yeah.
But Couples and Woosnam are icons. Couples for sure. Freaking Woosnam. Woosnam isn't known by every 30-year-old, 20-year-old today. He's not. He's just not. Couples is. So,
but does that? Would you say? But is that iconic for his golfing performances, or based on what you said a minute ago, related to his personality? Swag. Yeah. Because that's cool. He is cool, isn't he?
And everyone thinks it. The guy's 65 years old, and everyone thinks he's cool. I mean, how do you do that? How do you do that? I'm 44 and I'm clinging on to cool, but he is cool and he's 65. So, but he's an icon of our game for sure. But you're saying icon for a different reason, and in order to be an icon, because the one who's forgotten about, and I do think he's forgotten about, and he said it himself almost, and he's won multiple, is Keimer.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, that's a very good point.
But you'd stand there and you'd say Rosie's a bigger deal.
Yeah.
But that's the
I
brand,
think guys
isn't
like
it?
Rosie has had longevity at that level inside the top 50 of the world rankings for a couple of decades, what it feels like. Keimer hasn't been able to sustain that.
Luke Donald never won a major, but he's a Ryder Cup captain legend. So is he a legend? Is he an icon?
But I think you get icons for different reasons. I think to be a major icon, an actual player icon, I think you've got to win multiple majors to achieve that level.
But you're looking at it the wrong way. If I give you a benchmark, if I give you a deck of top trump legends in golf, top trump legends, is Luke Donald in the deck of cards?
I don't think he would be. Well, he might be, but I don't think he would be.
He's freaking in there. What are you talking about? Top trump legends of the last 50 years playing golf.
I'm not
because
sure.
you'd say majors none.
Top trump, you're going to go Jack Nicklaus.
Yeah.
On you.
Yeah.
Tiger's close.
Second best card. He's second best card. Yeah.
Yeah. So you'd basically be going down the list of major champions before you get to Ryder Cup icons. But
I'd look at my rows though on my top trump cards. I'd look at my rows and I'd be like, "Well, majors one might be a tricky one. He might have Jack." And then I'd go down and I'd be like, "Vibes 100," and I'd be like, "Vibes 100." Fred Couples. You'd hand over every card in the deck to me with that.
Yeah, but that's why I think you got to know what you're measuring, right? So
right. I go. Ryder Cup captain wins, Luke Donald. And you'd go, hand over the card.
Yeah, I would say Luke Donald's number 1 there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's a top trump card.
But he didn't play. He didn't play in any of those 3 wins.
So what you're saying is captaining the Ryder Cup doesn't justify a row in a top trump card. That's basically what you're saying. So let's skin this cat the other way. What would be your rows in an all-time legends top trump card? We've got majors. What else would you have?
I'd have to have majors. I'd have to have PGA Tour wins. I'd have to have highest world ranking.
You can't have PGA Tour wins because Peter Thompson...
Okay, worldwide wins. Let's do worldwide wins.
Yeah.
So wins overall.
So now you're looking after Gary Player and boys like that.
Yeah, all those boys. I would say highest world ranking.
No, you can't do that because that's not been in since time began either. Right, so where do you stick freaking Ben Hogan then?
Well, he's under the amount of major wins.
But so it would come. So I'd be playing you at top trumps, right?
Yep.
And you would say
I would
to
be
me,
winning. I know.
You'd be saying to me, highest world rank point, and I'd have to say not recorded. So then what? We just then place Ben Hogan in a pile in the middle, and then it goes to the next card, highest world rank point. I guess you could do that, but now Ben Hogan is same as Jack Nicklaus. If Jack Nicklaus is the top trump card and he's never had a world ranking, I can lose my top trump card just because he doesn't have a ranking. Is that how you want to play this game? I mean, it's fair. You don't get this on No Laying Up. This is a fair debate that if you had 4 lines in top trumps in golf, you got majors won, you got worldwide wins, you need 2 more at least for a decent game of top trumps.
I think the gummies have worn off.
But you can't answer it. You can't answer it because you have you so therefore you're crap.
But you can't include Ryder Cup either in your top trumps.
All right, you didn't let me.
What about Ernie Els, Gary Player?
You didn't let me finish my sentence. You could do Ryder Cup or President's Cup points.
The President's Cup is shite. Like, sure, yeah, that's not even on level par to Ryder Cup. Like, it's just pointless.
You could do major amateur wins.
You could do that, but then actually a lot of cards would be 0.
Yeah, but you'd have someone like, well, I was going to say Matt Kuchar, but I don't know if you'd let Matt Kuchar into this, or Ricky Barnes, but I don't know if they'd get in. Because you look at Jack and Tiger, they won all that stuff.
Yeah, but not, it's the same as winning a major in a way. Like it's not like there's 20 events over the amateur season.
If you're Matt Fitzpatrick, though, you want them in. If you're Eduardo Molinari, that then makes you get in the flipping top trumps legend thing.
I think we're going to have to put this out to the listeners of this and go, listen, document, comment below and tell us what categories should create the top trumps categories. And I think we should do some sort of legends, and we should social post this out. What do you think? I think we should do this. This is quite interesting.
So I think you've got to get 4 or 5 categories. Let's decide that in the rules of the game. You have to have majors and you have to have worldwide wins. I'll give you that. So then you've now got to at least have at least 2. I'd like 3 more categories.
I want to say, and I'm going to get this wrong, so Lloyd, you best be typing in quick here, Led. How many categories are typically in a
deck of top trumps?
Yeah, and I want to say the volume of cards it's 30. Is it more than 30 cards in a deck? So that means you need 30 players and 6 categories.
6? There's no way 6 categories. I think it's 5 or 4 categories.
That's more than 4, mate.
Then that's it. I hope here he is. Nothing I can do. 5. So it's 5 categories. So you've got. All we've got so far is major wins and worldwide wins, which is somewhat skewed. Because how are you gonna get someone like Wai Yang's worldwide winning record? And the other thing that you have to then go with, like Wai Yang's got to be in there, beat Tiger Woods. So that
So is Graham Storm.
Wai Yang beat him in a major, mate. Stormy beat him in
South African Open. South African Open, the oldest professional golf tournament in the world.
I'm not buying that. I'm not having that. That's a worldwide win.
Graham Storm, you just become an icon.
I love Graham Storm. I love Graham Storm, but he's not getting in the legend box of top trumps, is he? He's not getting in that, in all fairness. And I really like him.
All right. Well, let's see how many. We're gonna have to put this out because we need to define these categories. I still think that the number 1 ranking in some description needs to be there. Maybe there's one that's like the power ranking, which is kind of like what you're saying, which is impact of persona. No, not power as in muscle. I'm talking about like influence. So going back to Freddie Couples.
Yeah, swag. You'd have to call it swagger.
Swagger. I actually don't. Something like that.
I don't hate that because then you've got like Norman, Ray Floyd,
exactly.
Chichi Rodriguez, Lee Trevino, Payne Stewart.
Some good ones in there. Yeah,
good. Yeah, we're having that one. So that gives us majors one worldwide, and then vibes or swagger.
Yeah.
So now you're left with 2 more categories.
And I guess we're specifically talking. You'd have to have 2 decks of cards here, one for male, one for female.
You wouldn't. No.
You would because there's different number of majors in the women's game.
No way. Doesn't matter.
You'd have to.
No, the women have got to be included. You can't have two. You can't have a top trump icon and then have two brackets for men and for women.
No, I think you have to, because in the women there's 5 majors.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. How many majors has Annika Sorenstam won?
10.
Yeah, and there's 5. And I don't know if there was 5 when she played. Sorenstam gets in this deck 100%. Deservedly gets in. Michelle Wee gets in.
To be fair, Charlie Hart
Nelly Corder gets in.
The swag. She'd have swag, wouldn't she?
Nelly Corder's Charlie's not won a major.
No.
We already said, like, potentially.
But she has been runner-up 5 times.
Great, okay. But so you're going to put someone in this who's won no majors.
No, I think you got to be a major winner to be inducted into the Dope Stroke Top Trumps deck of legends.
Exactly. So she doesn't get in.
All right.
Nelly Corder gets in.
Nelly gets in.
That's where
Lydia Ko. Michelle Wee.
Suri Pak. Did she win a major?
Suri Pak, yeah. Suri Pak. And she was world number 1 for a long time as well.
And she pioneered it out of Korea. To be fair to her, she was one of the first ones, so she's got to get in. Yeah. So you see where I'm going.
Gary
now all
Webb.
of a sudden, you got a decent set of cards here now. So now you got good categories. Fascinating.
Yeah, I think we definitely have to put a vote. Who's going to have
what I don't think you can get down to is you can't get to the nitty gritty of doing like ball speed,
no data.
Wedge play. You can't do that. It's got to be more, and then it would be about, and then we need to contact Top Trumps and see if we can get this thing going, because I think you probably run into a load of.
We got some sort of top trump card like this for golf. We're going to have to Google this.
You might run into problems, mightn't you, with name, image, and likeness and stuff. I mean, Greg Norman. You can come up with the guys: Greg Norman, Phil Mickelson, John Rahm. They'd just fleece them. They'd be like Bryson. They'd be like, you can't use my name. We're live guys. So you got to pay us 50 times more. And so it just ruins the fun for everybody. You know what I mean? Yeah. So what goes from being a fantastic deck of Top Trumps cards that people want is now not happening because they got to make $10 bajillion million.
Yeah, but we could do this. We could do this as like a social experiment without the ability to monetize, because it's only the monetization element where we're going to encounter problems. So we'll do it more as a bit of fun, jiggery pokery, and then it's out there in the world and off we go. Or Clutch Factor, Lloyd's just come out with Clutch Factor. You're under the cosh. You know, that's what Tiger would do well. That's a good call. Annika Sorenstam would do well there.
Yeah, I mean, there's loads of them. Like, we haven't even mentioned Ernie Els yet.
Yeah. Retief, how's it?
He's won a couple.
How many times have you been struck by lightning? Oh, that can't be a category, can it?
So I think that's a good situation we've got going on there. I like that.
I think so. All right.
That'd be a good deck of Top Trumps.
All right, we're gonna do some.
So I'll tell you what else I want to talk about, and I do have a connection with this, and I'm going to freaking pat myself on the back here. So David Woods out in the desert, not the freaking Arabian desert. This is Palm Desert, the desert in just east of San Diego,
the fake desert.
No, I'm not having that.
The real desert's in Africa, lad. It's not in America, let me tell you.
There's a lot of good people come from the desert out here. A lot of good golf guys.
Sure there are, but it's not the real desert, is it?
Anyway, so Woodsy came to me 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 years ago with that Plain Mate thing. The bands and the belt.
Oh, yeah.
Did well with that, he did. And made a lot of coin. And it was pretty good. And he got on the hot spell of shallowing. So he then bought that Cradle to me, the training aid like that, which wasn't for me. And then he said to me, look, I've got a device that is for you. Made a YouTube video on this device at the start of the season. And David Woods manages to get his products and himself where water doesn't get. He's impressive the way he does it. He's a good businessman when you boil things down. So I'm watching the golf at the weekend. And this thing called the Widener, which I've made a video on. And I said early doors, I think this is going to do well, blah, blah, blah. I went out there and said, could be a good thing. Wyndham Clark loosening up and we're practicing with the Widener from David Woods. I'm just like, you can't write the script. So when you have the option yesterday to watch it or go practice, I mean, what do? Like all the rest of us golf freaks, take the Widener and go and hit balls. And it's good. It's good. And everyone gets like on this thing that it's for width on the way down. I think it's more for sequencing on the follow through myself, which Woodsy, I was very fortunate to have a lesson from David and Sean Foley, co-designer of this thing, I believe. And it's on my YouTube channel. And it was talking about like the exit. And I think that it's freaking great for that. And I was really happy for Pro Sender, really happy for David Woods, really happy for Sean and the Widener and Wyndham Clark. But people don't realize, and again, flippant comment the last week or so, talking about you can play twice a week and be a +2. You can if you practice the right way. And by practicing the right way, I mean chalk lines, start gates with putting, land spots with chipping, one shape off the tee, and freaking training aids that keep you on the straight and narrow. Because I'll tell you right now, McD, the reason I'm not hitting any greens is because I'm not swinging it calibrated to my true north. So therefore, you have to go and spend, hey, it's Father's Day, what do you want to do here? Just hung out a bit with the kids, my son in the morning, because I play a bit of golf with him, daughter not interested. And I'm like, right, I'm going to go to the golf club for a couple of hours. Because the truth is, I get there, one of my mates is like, you want to come out and play 9 holes? Love to, because you're a good lad. But no, because I need to calibrate this shit, because I'm starting to hit it off the freaking planet. And this is a wide golf course I play at. So if it's off the planet, then it is literally like lava area on that simulator golf. Like, it's real bad. So anyways, basically think the training aids keep you back in line. For me, it's a big yes, and I wouldn't be binning them off. There are certain things about golf I'd bin off, but I wouldn't bin off training aids. I think they're good.
I'd just been off that dropping the ball from your knee, but terms of that's stupid, yeah. The training aid I've been looking at quite a lot. In fact, I even asked Lloyd, because Lloyd has everything. I just said, mate, have you got one of those TRS strap things that you put around your midriff to keep everything connected? And I think he said, yes, I got one somewhere, but I can't find it. And then 10 minutes later, he's texting me back saying, I bought you one and me one.
So
that's my guy.
Let me tell you about that TRS thing, right? So you strap it on and you kind of put it through like your bone in the middle of your chest, right? So I go yesterday to hit some balls, and I like to put it on really tight when I put it on, because I was messing around with different training aids yesterday. Because I've been a bit lost, and I landed in the end on the Tour Striker one with Martin Chuck, which is the ball. TRS make a ball as well. And I landed on the Widener. And I stick this freaking training aid on, and I've got it a little high, and I look like someone out of freaking Amsterdam or Vegas. It's right across my nipples. I look like one of those birds who's wearing a bit of tape. So you've got this thing, right? And it obviously
needs a little red light that follows you around.
Jesus Christ. So I connect it to my right bicep, and I swing it back, and I start my downswing, and the piece of plastic catches my nipple between that and I nearly ripped my freaking nipple out, mate. Only because I'm such an athlete that halfway down did my right elbow stay connected more than ever before on that one golf shot. 100%. I felt an instant pain, which I always used to say, you need a training aid that gives you an electric shock if you don't get it. We'll freaking catch your nipple with one of them TRS things, and Christ alive, there's the shock of your lifetime. And anyway, I pured it and thought, I'm just going to take this off. I'm not sure this is quite what I need right now.
Well, I think on that note, that's a wrap up, isn't it?
Yeah. And then I don't know what you're meant to do. Then here in another situation, just finish you off here. So I'm hitting balls, and, I've obviously now got a few training aids everywhere. I've popped out the way, top end of I always like when you're a member of a golf course, you can drift out the way if it's a good range and hit. So the best I can do is like the top teaching tee, which means you're hitting down a freaking cliff, which isn't ideal. But I popped up there, you're hitting balls. And then one of the members, really nice person, I've never met him before, comes up to me and starts chatting, and then they're asking you what you're doing, because you're having some success, like you're flushing it, and then then the next thing you're like, happened to me last week and it happened to me yesterday. These girls were hitting balls, young girls, a lacrosse player, I think she said she was, and I was watching, I was like, I've got to help you. I'd actually left to go and putt and walked back because I knew I could help this girl. She was probably 16, 17, athlete, just needed a little bit of guidance. And then yesterday I'm hitting balls, and this woman's like asking, and I'm like, can't help myself. I mean, I should just walk around with a sign that says, if you ask me, I'll give you a free lesson. It's just ridiculous. I can't help myself. If they ask me, I'm helping them. But you don't want to be the person that voluntarily helps, because then you're just a tryhard. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean, but who'd have thought that of all the people, you'd be the one that would be the most generous, eh?
Well, I just want to help people, mate.
It's for the love of the game, isn't it, Troy? For the love of the game.
Just want to help people.
You're growing the game, aren't you, mate? That's what you're doing. You're growing the game.
one person, but at a time.
Anyway, it's time to shut the show down for the day. Well,
I don't think that was quite the wrap up of the US Open that I expected. I've got to be honest.
No, we can always talk about your gummy stories again, but that's for another episode. Let's go with that out in sunny California. Other than that, we'll be back next week as per usual. And until then, check us out.
We'll be checking out the Arabian Outpost Trop Shop. We're going to put the foundations in, aren't we, Mutti?
With red lights and nipples. There we go.